Hey everybody, how you doing this morning? I'm coming to you this morning. It's a rainy morning, but I still feel very blessed to be alive, and I'm happy that you're here right now listening to this because something happened to me last night, and God did something in me last night and this morning as I prayed that is really good, and I think it's going to be really good that you hear this. Last night I went to Relentless, and it was great. I got to connect with a lot of people, but there was a man there last night who was going through so much, and I was able to listen to what he had to go through, and I was able to, with some other people, kind of help him and give him some advice and listen to what he was going through, and through all that, God kind of showed me something. And I want to talk today about this word guilt and this word condemnation. um, what we tend to do is we tend to hold on to that stuff because of the things that we've done in the past, or just had, recent things that we've done, and we feel bad about a lot of the things that we've done to a point that we hold on to guilt and condemnation as kind of a self-punishment type of thing. And what I realize is that a lot of us do it, and I'm kind of king of this. I do this a lot. I'm getting better because people have helped me kind of get better at this and realize what I've been doing. So now I walk in a lot more freedom, and I'm able to lay stuff down a lot easier now because of the realization that God does not want us to walk around feeling bad about ourselves all the time. As a matter of fact, God went to great lengths that we didn't have to feel bad and carry condemnation and guilt anymore. Okay, a lot of times we think that we deserve it, and we think that it's actually God who wants us to feel this way about it. And that's not really God. And he actually took away all your guilt and took away all your condemnation. But we tend to think that this is the voice of God, but really the devil is trying to keep you down and keep you feeling bad. Now I want you to understand something. In the Bible it says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And it says, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Right there it tells us that God does not want you condemned or feeling bad. As a matter of fact, he went so far to send his Son into the world to take all that condemnation and guilt. But we tend to hold on to it as self-punishment. And as we hold on to this guilt and as we hold on to this condemnation, we're really kind of stopping our lives, and we're really kind of holding ourselves back because we feel so bad about things, and that tends to put us into a slump. See, God don't want us to be into a slump. The last thing God wants us to do is to let whatever happened yesterday stop us from doing what we're capable of doing, or what he wants us to do with our lives. You see, the fact is that there was a man who walked the earth named Jesus. He did so many miracles and so many good things in this world, and they're all documented not only in the Bible but in other history books from atheists who didn't even believe in God, but they had to document things because they were historians. They're all documented, and Jesus really walked this earth, and he really went to the cross and died. And it was 3 days later that there really was thousands of people who witnessed him walking around and alive. Okay, so this whole thing really took place. And the Bible tells us that he came so that we didn't have to have condemnation, and that we could have a happy and fulfilled life, and that we could be saved through that moment in history and what took place there. So what I want to encourage you today to do is to kind of lay everything down. God forgives you, but a lot of times we don't forgive ourselves, and it hinders us. And actually, it stops us from trusting God. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells us in 1 John 3:21, it says, beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then we have confidence towards God. When we hold on to this guilt and condemnation in our life, we tend to stop believing God for what he wants to do and for what he is possible to do. Like, we don't even deserve it. And we stop hoping and reaching, and we stop realizing that all things are possible, and that our life really can take off and go to new levels and new heights. So I want to encourage you today, throughout this day, at some point in time, would you take a moment and would you talk to God? Would you, I'm not saying ignore your problems. I'm not saying don't own up to them and don't feel bad about anything you do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying own up to what you're doing. Look at it square in the eye and say, I did that and that was wrong. Okay? And then give that to God. Ask Him to forgive you today for anything you might be struggling with. Any old sins, any recent sins, any attitudes that you know isn't right. I ask right now, you look at them square, own up to them, realize that you've done it, and I ask that you ask God to forgive you. And once you do that, all I want you to do then is picture yourself taking all that junk out of you, all the guilt, all the condemnation, and laying it down at the cross. And I want you to leave it there because God don't want you to carry that. That is not the voice of God that's telling you you should be condemned or feel bad any longer. You can feel good, and it's okay to feel good. I want you to know to leave it and move on. So that's really what I wanted to say today. Don't allow any more roadblocks in your life. I want you to move forward in life. Life is exciting. Life is really, really good. There's so much to live for. There's so much to be happy and grateful for. And if you allow yourself to be free from that junk, you will have joy and happiness, and you will have hope for the future. So that's what I want you to do today. I love you, and please take the moment to do that at some point in the day. And I hope this really helped you, and I will talk to you later. Until next time, bye bye.